I would like to invite up at this time Mr. Brian Sullivan, President of the Correction Officers Benevolent Association.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sure it's going to... I believe there is no mandate, and as an American citizen, I have the right to use a mask or not wear a mask. And a whole lot, including my own brother, ma'am. Including my own brother, and I'm vaccinated. My own brother who was killed, who died in a nursing home. One of Cuomo's nursing homes. But that's not why I'm here today.
All right, we're going to...
That is not why I'm here today.
Right, wait a second. Brian, wait a second. Brian, wait a second. Now, look, do I have 50
Let's
slips?
move on.
Wait. Before you start, I have 50 slips. If you're going to start...
We're not going to get through this today,
if you're going to
folks.
interrupt everyone who speaks... All right, I don't know if we can do that, but listen, when the people up there speaking, they have a right to speak, and we have a right to hear them. So whatever your comments are about whether you like them, dislike them, or whatever, keep them to yourselves and let that person speak and have his time before the legislature.
Everybody will have their turn. Thank you, sir. Why are we here today? It's the judgment of this legislative body and the direct experience of those of us in law enforcement that the recent widespread pattern of physical attacks, lawlessness, and intimidation directed at law enforcement has undermined the civil liberties of the communities at large. You may recognize some of these things that I took directly from the bill. This legislature expressly in this bill disavows any intent to excuse or minimize the gravity of incidents of law enforcement misconduct that have occurred anywhere in this country, especially those that may have been motivated by racial intolerance. Law enforcement does in fact join in condemning such misconduct, but those acts of misconduct by law enforcement can never in any circumstances justify the vilification of all law enforcement or any other acts of violence whatsoever directed at law enforcement, including the correction officers that I represent. Law enforcement is, I guess that's funny. Law enforcement is essential to protecting the constitutional rights of all citizens to protest, to protect freedom of speech, or to protect our citizens from those who would use threats and violence to silence those with whom they disagree with or to enforce conformity of thought. The civil, human, and constitutional rights of everyone are jeopardized when law enforcement is prevented from carrying out their duties, and in particular while protecting the lives and livelihoods of all people in this country. So what are we talking about? Human rights and it's my turn to speak. It's my turn to speak, sir. I got all day. I have all day. Human rights and protecting everyone from lawless behavior. Doesn't law enforcement deserve the same human rights, respect, and dignity that everyone they are sworn to protect does? They don't. Okay. And when that's violated, to make them whole in the instances where they are injured at the hands of lawless individuals. I, for one, do not go to work every day thinking this is the day I'm going to get assaulted, bit, punched, stabbed, and oh, well, that's just part of my job. That's how it works. Organized violence or individual violence undermines the very foundation of our society and prevents citizens from engaging in peaceful civil protest. As you all know, as everyone on this dais knows, I have personally led protests here at this very building on numerous occasions going back years. As a union leader, I do indeed revere the rights of all Americans to peacefully assemble, as we've done here today for the most part, to air our grievances and freely express our views. These are the very basis of our constitutional rights that are reserved for all people. Violence directed at those who are sworn to uphold the law will only cause greater lawlessness, undermine our society, and harm everyone in the end. Therefore, I firmly support this legislation that will seek to protect the basic human rights of any first responder, making it fundamental that anyone who commits harassment, menacing, assault, or causing injury as defined in the law to that first responder shall be deemed an unlawful discriminatory practice, and they shall be held accountable for those actions. I commend Legislator Lafazan, Legislator Jurigi-Whitten, and all legislators who sponsored this bill today. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.